Oh, and so your friendly local constitutional kook out here in California. I want to discuss another issue that's again in the news all over the place, which is the quote unquote right to abortion. And you have to understand some things about that. Number one, it has nothing to do with Roe v. Wade and or the 14th fucking Amendment. Amendment doesn't exist. Never did. So what you need to do, and to you, Chief Justice John Roberts and justices of the court, tell the American people what I'm telling them. You come up there under the Ninth Amendment and or Article 1, Section 10, you don't have a problem. There is a right to abortion, something I'm not especially personally thrilled about. But in plain point of fact, giving birth, at least at this moment in time, as a creator endowed inalienable right, has nothing to do with government at any level, particularly the de facto National Socialist government, since they want to get probably as many kids born as they possibly can to create cesticate trusts and turn them into a dead entity. And here they are talking about abortion being a murder, and that what they do at one and the same time has the same consequences. But you have one of those trusts, and your citizenship is based on the non existent 14th Amendment, you're dead. Doesn't matter. You have no rights to de facto National Socialist government is bound to respect. And that accounts in large part, in my view, for how come none of those law enforcement thugs out in Akron, Ohio, even got indicted for involuntary manslaughter for the first degree murder of Jalen Walker. You're already dead. What's the problem? I mean, that's how the legal eagles in this system behind the scenes see it. And it affects abortion too. And by the way, that said, with the Congress uh, that thinks it has unlimited powers and has thought that for over 100 years, with a little truth in advertising, why couldn't they enact a law that says giving childbirth in this day and age is an act of felonious child abuse? Why does anybody in their right mind want to have a kid today? Give me a break. And I made my own decision 40 odd years ago. I said, there's no way, because I realized the work that I do, is more important than anything else. And I said, well, if I can't put a family first, I don't have any business having one. So it is what that is, and I'm the last of the line. I'm going to love that in Washington, D.C. Um, but it was what I knew even starting out when I didn't know anything like what I know now. I recognized the magnitude of the issues I was taking on. So personal decision, no problem. Haven't been in that situation where an abortion, even comes into play. But you can see it, and especially nowadays, and even with the, two parents both in the workforce at the same time, it can be very tough to keep up with household expenses. And now you add a kid or twins or triplets to the mix, it's impossible. And now you're forced to rely on government largesse in the form of social insecurity benefits. And a quickie note on that one is that I got my own personalized letter from the then commissioner of social insecurity, Dorcas Hardy, saying, yeah, you're right. No law exists that requires anyone to have a number. We'll talk more about that in another video. But that said, the decision, especially on the part of the mom who has to go through all those 9 months, and I think even with the married couple, that the mom's decision there would end the matter. That's just me personally. I don't know about any constitutional laws that would come into force there, unless you have a marriage license, which you don't need. License, by the way, Black Sport Law Dictionary, permission granted by competent authority to do an act that without such permission would be illegal. We need their approval to get married in a principal and agent relationship. Whoa, think about the magnitude of that issue. But it's how these dragoons in my former hometown of Washington, D.C. see it. And they're going to keep doing that until the Supreme Court tells them to stop. And guys, thanks for going in the direction we've been going in the fourth term now, all out assault on the administrative state. Please do it quicker and tell the American people what you're doing and why your approval rating will shoot through the roof, especially on this issue. And as I said in closing, I'm not a big fan of abortion, but it seems to me, uh, you know, whatever liability there is for it, they're going to have to deal with in an ecclesiastical court of conscience when you get where you're going in the afterlife. Not something that we have anything to worry about in this life, but in that situation, there may be consequences. That I don't know, but that's the only place that it would be cognizable. So it's an overall interesting subject, but it doesn't need to be. It's dead bang over if you use the right provisions of the Constitution and the Supreme Court shuts it down. Now, even an amendment to the Constitution won't fix it. I mean, there's no possible way they could do that. If you understand Article 5, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So stick to your guns with that, and we'll talk more about it on another video. But in the meantime, send me an email, by the way, youwinandcourt@gmail.com, and I'll give you all the information I have. A lot of it relates directly to abortions. I should have said that earlier. And that said, subscribe, like the videos, tell your friends, get the word out. The quicker we start doing the right things in the right courts in the right time, especially common law juries, the sooner we get these bastards off our backs. Thank you.